Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get a topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Alrighty, what is going on? We're live back again with another show, Project Open Mic. Oh man, hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing great. It's another day. Hey, we're here. Hope everybody who celebrates Thanksgiving, I hope people enjoy the Thanksgiving. And I hope they enjoy chilling with their friends and family and whoever they're out there with. I want to thank you guys for, like I said, joining us tonight. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend and how everything went. Hope you get some good shopping, Black Friday, whatever. Let's put my lovely mug on the screen. There we go. How y'all doing? Get a little scruffy, they get a little shave, but other than that, and I'm doing it for a reason, technically speaking. But anyway, again, thank you guys for coming in. Had a little chat with the temporary fan people, so now Facebook and YouTube are joining in. Yeah, I had a little technical difficulties again. I'm hoping some Facebook was giving me a little problems, but hey, it is what it is. So tonight's show is going to be semi-serious. I mean, it's going to be serious. I'm not going to make that much joke per se, but it's going to be serious because of what needs to be talked about. So hope you guys can sit in and join, as the topic tonight is about the virus, COVID. And so we want to talk to this, go through it logically, take deep breaths, and let's talk to this logically. So that's what we're going to do. So let's just get straight into it. So as we are, I'll state this up front. I want to put a disclaimer up front. I know, because I know YouTube and Facebook doesn't really look at the videos. They look at the words and that's it, and they don't look at what people say in the videos. So for those who are listening live, I want to make this totally clear up front what we're going to be talking about. So there's no mistakes, no miscommunication. You know what's going on. So tonight, we're talking about the virus. All right. First, I am not a doctor. I know I'm not a doctor. I'm not pretending to be a doctor. I'm saying a doctor. We're going to go through this logically based on things that we're looking at. Okay. 1, 2, I am not disclaiming or discrediting that this virus is a dangerous virus. It is. I'm not disclaiming it. But I think we're overreacting too much. And we know sometimes you overreact and people feel that they have all the power. They abuse their power. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. But let's go through the process of this thing. Okay. So we're going to go through it so people can understand where we're coming from. Because Lord knows we need logical thinking. And also, last disclaimer is there are gonna be some curse words on this podcast. I myself will try to keep it clean, but the videos that I'm gonna play, the clips and the videos I gotta play for you have some strong languages in it. So I get that. I don't know if I could. I'm gonna block everything, but again, yes. So if you're delicate for your children's ears or whatever, I understand that. But this is like we need some frank talk about this subject, and we need to get down to the nitty gritty of it. I'll get some ocean spray. I have no problem promoting health. As you can see, most of the time you got my show, you see I mostly drink water. This is cranberry juice, but I have no problem. I'm not one of those hoity-toity health nuts, but I will say that it does help to cook your own food and do your own stuff at home and grow stuff if you can. If you can't, I understand. And people are like organic. We gotta get the organic food. No. Organic is just a namesake. Okay, just get the best food you can. Because I am gonna do a video about the whole, discrediting the whole food. Or where was it again? Food desert and all that nonsense. But tonight, no. Like I said, I put more healthy. For me myself, last year, I started a new regiment on my own. Like I made this up myself. I didn't even go to no help. Not. I didn't go to nobody. On my own, I started this. And also, there's a shout outs to a Ring Fit Adventure. It's on the Nintendo Switch. It is a game that does fit just like Wii Fitness, if anybody remembers that. But this one's way more active than Wii Fitness. Way more active and way more intense. For those who have short attention spans, and a lot of us do, and you need something to keep us in the game, it's literally a RPG game using exercises to do fights. And I like it. And I might do a review of it because here's the thing. I do that thing twice a week. Then on Sundays, when the weather is good, most in the summertime and no problem, I go on walks. I used to go walk with a certain person. Things happen, but I continue my walk. I walk 2 miles Sunday, 2.1 to be exact, but 2 miles on Sunday. If the weather, like I said, the weather is good. I basically just eat fruits in the morning, and I don't eat lunch unless I have a real brain fog. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. If I have a brain fog, I eat something just because I know it. I do use green tea extract, just that as well that too. And I just eat heavy food. I mean, a regular dinner that I cook myself. Majority of the times I cook it myself at home. Cook it home in my kitchen, and that's a promotion to T3 Life, which will be launching in 2021 in January. You'll see that coming. All right. With that said, we do have that's what I've done. And as of when did I got it? I got it December. So yeah, around December, or late November, December, I got Ring Fit and did that as well too. So as from then, I remember a couple days after that, I weighed myself. No, I weighed myself. I was at 220. I'm 6 foot tall. I was at 220, and I basically weighed myself. I was at maybe about a month. Let's just say a month. I am not gonna be exact because I can't remember perfectly, but I remember the number. I was 220. Then I was at 214. I was like, okay, 214, all right. And I kept doing it. The game is fun, and my body got used to the whole fruits in the morning. I mostly do like orange or grapefruit, mostly grapefruit now. Kiwis, I do that. A Nutri-Grain bar or just simple crackers and Lance crackers, just one. Um, Basically now again cranberry and just a bottle of water, and that's what I do. And banana. Oh yeah, and a banana. And a banana. Let me not forget a banana and a banana. That's what I do. For that give me enough energy, that I could think of per se. That's for me again. My work is different. I sit down on a computer, do stuff. So like I said, everybody's different. But I do that. I drink bottles and bottles of water, or water. Come home, eat a healthy, eat a big meal, like I said. And last night I got on the scale just to whatever, because it's weird that you don't see things sometimes. So I got on the scale and I was at 184. I was like, what? I 184. Holy smokes. So I lost basically almost like 35 pounds. That's surprising to me. I am really surprised by that I lost that much. So hey, you could do it. Like I said, I always promote healthy, and that's what we're going into the topic tonight about the virus, because we got to go through. That's like I said. I want to talk to this common sense wise, because we need to. We need to talk about this because, again, I'm sorry, I don't believe the news media to a degree. I got a disdain for some of them. Why? Because they lie constantly and they have an agenda. I don't have like I said, everybody's biased. I am biased. And what I'm going to say tonight, we're going to look at it, but go out there and do your own research as best as you can. But I am more lean towards more freedom. That's why I'm a libertarian. I mostly believe to freedom. Let people make their own decisions. Okay. I had a couple people who, a couple people came to my house for Thanksgiving, and we had a conversation. And yeah, and we talked and we laughed and we cracked jokes, and we had a ball. Ate the food, all the food off the plate was gone. We had good food. I cooked every last meal on that thing, and it was gone. Okay, so but we did have some questions going back and forth with the virus, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, this and that." And we agreed to disagree on some things. And but when I told them my ultimate goal of why I said what I said, then they said, "Okay, I see where you're coming from," which I'm going to prove in this video at the end. So please stay tuned. So let's go again, logic and basic, and from the start. Okay. Now, no conspiracy theories or nothing. Again, not a doctor. I am taking, again, if you are older, please take care of yourself. If you have comorbidities, please take care of yourself. Wear a mask, wear gloves. I am not against that. If you're gonna go out there to go to a store and the store say wear a mask, I would gladly put on a mask. Okay, gladly put on a mask just for the sake so we can have people don't lose their livelihoods and everything. But there's a balance increase. Sometimes a lot of people don't understand. People's like, oh, they're good or bad. Some cases not even good or bad. Sometimes we change it one bad for another bad, as we will talk about when it comes to environmental issues. We change it another bad for another bad. It makes no difference. So that's just the situation that we are seeing. So let's add to like I said, let's go through this logically and talk about this. Let me put myself in the right spot. Give me a second here. All right. 2019, there was a virus that happened called, as we all know, coronavirus, COVID-19. Okay. COVID it means just a type of virus. It's been around for many, many decades. It's been around for many, many decades, many years, that's what it's called. And a 19 is basically for the year that the strain happened. That's how it's broken up. COVID-19, that's how it's breaking up. It became a spreader from a certain, because I'm trying to not get knocked down because of stupid algorithm, Autobots. But look, it happened from one country, it spread. All right. Now, the numbers that I always show you every time I see the numbers on the screen where CNN or Fox or whatever put that numbers aside. Oh, this is much. China has more people than the thing. They don't let us know that. Okay, they don't. Let's just get that straight as well. They don't. China, no, Russia, no, Venezuela, no, Nicaragua, no, like a lot of so much country that don't tell us none. India, come on. Let's again logically. We're doing this logic thinking now. Come on now. Let's do it. So let's go. So we have this came through. So first of all, let's establish a base on what we need to and what we're talking about. All right. So we're establishing a base. We have a virus. An effective agent typically consists of a nucleic acid molecule in protein coat, is too small to be seen by light microscope, and is able to multiply only within living cells of a host. That's the definition of a virus. Okay, we have that. Now we have a virus. When this thing kicked off, a lot of people were saying we have crazy rules are going on, of course, where at the end of January, the president of the United States banned travel from China, except for those who are citizens, which is illegal. Because people are like, oh, well, 10,000 people still, yeah, because you can't ban a citizen out of the country. That's wrong. That's illegal. That's unconstitutional. Let's just get that straight too. Again, we're dealing with straight logic here, not no crap, right? At that time, New York, and so the major politicians of some of these cities that you're gonna see that has crazy stuff said, still go out there. Don't worry about this. This is xenophobic, blah blah blah, all this stuff, whatever. Okay, all right. First, and then they found out this thing was being a little more dangerous. So they said, "What? Let's lock this. Let's stop the curve, right? Let's stop the curve of the virus. 15 weeks. Let's lock down. Make sure that they stop the flatten the curve. Sorry, flatten the curve and minute the spread of this virus. Okay, flatten the curve, minute the spread of this virus. We know how this goes. Now, I said back then that this thing was more, and every you look at the definition, it's more flu-like viruses. Can it does more damage? Yes, it can. Not doubting that, but most persistent is that. And with that, we know that when winter comes, it's gonna get stronger. I said that back then. That was March, and I was right. But we have a problem of it's not doing what it's doing what it's supposed to do. The virus is doing what it's supposed to do, but not to the extent of what these politicians and news media have been telling us. Again, I'm not saying that it's not a dangerous virus. Here's what we're going to do now. They say, wear a mask, wear protection. We're going to stop this thing. Now, I'm against President Trump and against President-elect Biden and Harris. Will be President-elect Harris too, because she's going to be president. I'm against them because they always say we're going to stop COVID. No, you're not. You didn't stop the other strains of COVID, so we don't think you're going to stop this COVID. It's a different strain. One. Two, you're not. It's going to be with us forever. It just is. So we got to learn to live with it. So shutting down, to me, is a bad idea. That's me. Even though now the HWO have said, even with their complacency what they had in the beginning, they said shutting down should be a last resort. It's not gonna do nothing. Lockdowns ain't gonna do nothing. They have done stories. They have done stories and testing and subject from Sweden, from Denmark, from states that opened, from states that didn't open. They did multiple tests and it showed ain't doing nothing. Why? Because it's the virus. Now, a lot of people out there are going and buying all kind of crazy stuff to stop the spread of the virus. Good, great, do that. I have no problem with that. Your money, you do what it is. Let's also look at something else. I want to show that the definition of, not you show the definition. Let's also compare the size. Again, Google again. Size bacteria are giants when compared to virus. Small bacteria about 0. Micron, 1 millionth of a meter in diameter, while viruses ranges in size of 0.02 to 0.25 microns. These are the most virus susceptible to unable to be seen by ordinary light microscopes. Making sure you're seeing that we have a baseline for all our talks. Okay, we have that. Microns, all right? Microscopes, microns, it's no different. Meaning very, very little. I want to see if I should have that situation here. Make sure I have it so I can show you on the screen as well too. Nope, it's not that. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I'm gonna see if I can do that as well. I'm gonna see if we can find level 4. I'm gonna see if I can find that on the screen so you can see it. You can go along with me on this journey of finding out the truth of a lot of stuff. Okay, so we see how small that is. Now, they said we should be wearing masks and cloth. They have many tests that show cloth mask and these masks. I'm gonna show something about this too and everything else. Okay, that we should wear these. Okay, they say the best mask to have is a and that's what I'm trying to find it here. Let's see if we could search and find it. A surgical. Let's. Oops. Come on, phone. Don't go to me now. Now, and also, I get not. I still throwing him on the bus because it was a jerk move to do. But Dr. Fauci was saying about we already said not to buy masks in the beginning because we wanted the healthcare people to get the mask. Okay, why don't you just tell us that and stop thinking for us and think you're better than us? That part I don't like. Let the market work out itself. Oops, I'm not. I'm looking for. Let me. I want to see if the screenshot that I did, if I'm gonna get the same screenshot. I think it was. Just making sure I can get the surgical mask. Okay. Yep. Got the same thing. Got close to the same thing. Now, I was trying to figure out to get the level zero mask for the protection. Scissor mask level. Let's see 3, and let's see how that works. Because I know. Yes. You try to go shop for it, they block it from not going through. Okay, good. That's the same thing I was saying. The ones that could do anything to the virus microns is those levels, and you can't find them. People, you got to be careful because you get scammed. But also they won't tell you where to go to. You got to go to the World Organization website and all that stuff for to find those type of masks. I said this is crazy. Just to be, I just want to see something because it's just crazy to me. Cases count. So far, according to there's only been 1 million deaths in the world. That's a a smallish number. And I'm laughing at the whole. This is this right here. So we're gonna put some numbers. I want to do some numbers because we need it. You have that, and logically speaking again. So let me get this straight. This that has 100, 330 million people. They are more dangerous than a country that has 1.6 billion people, and they're more closely compact, and they have their comorbidities is very dangerous. Oh, India could do it, and that number is not known because it's so far. India is so vast that they don't even know, they don't control so much stuff themselves. But yeah, I don't believe this. I'm sorry, I just do not. Okay, I do not. Logically speaking, the numbers do not add up. I know that. I gotta stand. And you tell, and you think how all this stuff like these is just weird. But let's go with their numbers. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this I don't believe the numbers in these countries. You want to say America? Okay, we keep it to the numbers. I get that. I just this and this does not make no logical sense at all. Oh, come from cases. Oh, okay, all right, okay, crazy. But I just want you to show that, so we can go with the numbers because we're gonna do some number counting right now. Okay, we will do that. But let's get back to the um the mask. Okay, here's one of the reasons why I said it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Just let me just go full screen for a second. Okay, one, these most people are wearing these or cloth masks. Okay, go to Consumer Reports and look at some of the masks. Some people got a color mask, and the dumb ones have the Gucci's or whatever. Just whatever. It is what it is. People do what they want to do. Their money. Okay, so let's check this out. You're telling me, so we know that some of these masks has their cloth and they wash. Are they wash to get rid of virus and bacteria? Some of the cloths are black or pink or colorful. Let's be honest. Nobody's putting bleach on those. They're not. Because we know what bleach would do to those things. So they're not washing them correctly. Do you know that it's that germs could go to a HE, okay, go to Crystal Reports and look at how to clean a front end washer. They mildew, mold, and everything still stays in the water unless you use something to kill it, like a bleach or a sanitizer. I'm not promoting them, but I've have them. Lysol has a liquid sanitizer that is not bleach, so you don't mess up your clothes. It's very hard to find them right now, but hey, just letting you know, check them out. But other than that, maybe some OxyClean in some cases, but I don't see it as that. But I know you need something to sanitize the cloths if you have the cloth mask. One, people ain't doing that. Okay, let's just be honest with that. Just I don't hang on this for a quick second. So people ain't gonna do that. All right, we know that. Two, these are disposable masks. You're supposed to wear them once and throw them away. And sadly, a lot of people say the same people are like, "Oh, we good for the earth." You see a lot of these in parking lots and the gloves as well too. But again, you protect yourself. You do what you gotta do. But let's talk logically and reasonably. Why I say the virus is not gonna end in my lifetime or your lifetime. I mean, even with the vaccine, which we'll get to that point. We will get to the vaccine point. Okay, these are disposable. See, I wear glasses, as you can see. So, something fogs or whatever. I know how to use it. This is the unused one, and I'm gonna throw this away when I'm done with it, but just to show you. But people wear these masks and a cloth mask, and there's a problem with that too. And you see your politicians doing the same thing too. Okay, so you take the mask. We already got it on. People know how to use that. We're good. These have these. The wire part goes up. The wire part goes up. You can put it in. When you breathe, you can see my glasses are not fogging up. Now, if I open it up, it will fog up. All right. Pull down. Make sure you got a nice seal on your thing. And I go into the stores. I do what I gotta do. Then after that, I go home and I throw them away. I have a box of it because it's disposable. I put them in the recycling. Hopefully, they get recycled. That's all I can say. Hope they do. Okay. Here's the problem we have with these kind of masks, as well as the other one. These are disposable. People reuse these. They hang them in a car and never use them. So it's not doing nothing if you don't get rid of them. All right. One, two. Then you have people like this who wears it like this. Your nose is exposed. When your nose is exposed, a lot of people might not notice, but your nose is connected to your throat, to your mouth. So you breathe through your nose, the droplets get in your air, which is at 0.2 or 0.2.5 microns, as you said, and it's going in no matter what. That's why I said it's atomized in the air. So I don't, when people go crazy, I don't know, but it's already that's small and it's in the air. Yeah. So it's gonna get to you, go to your lungs and do, as they said, the virus does damage to your lungs and respiratory system. Still does that. But we see a lot of people wear the mask like this. This is not how you're supposed to wear the mask. Not how you're supposed to wear the mask. This way. Last but not least, and this is the cloth and this way. And then you have the other ones, of course, they'll wear the mask like a chin mask. And they do this, which is stupid too. And walk around and whatever. No, this defeats the purpose as well. So you telling me with all people doing this and this with both masks and then not disposing this mask, we're gonna stop the spread of this thing? Really? I don't think so. Let's be honest. I don't think so. Okay. Again, logically thinking of what we're saying here. Okay. That's how we're doing it on Project Open Mic. We make sure that we use your brain to think. Use that thinking me that God given you. So we have that. Okay. Show you how the mask is. That's how the mask does. That's what the mask is. Okay. Let's take it to the next level now. Let's go to learn some more stuff. All right. Okay. So let's get in now. They're saying, wow, we have a vaccine. Okay, that's cool. We do have a vaccine. The vaccine is coming out. Now, according to Dr. Fauci, which is weirdly oddly that he said that, which is so weird, said that we don't herd immunity ain't gonna help us out. Okay, I don't know. He's a doctor. He's a doctor. But that's still weird to me, to all that nonsense. Let's read the definition of a vaccine, shall we? A substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases prepared from the causative agent of the disease, its products, and a synthetic substitute treated and act as anti-agent without introducing the disease. Program disease to detect in computer. Well, that's computer. Let's not go there. Live attendant, typhoid, and the different types here. So now we get into why I'm gonna say what I said. Vaccines teach your body to defend itself when germs such as viruses or bacteria invade it. Vaccines expose a very small, very safe amount of virus or bacteria that haven't been weakened or killed. Your immune system then learns to recognize it, attacks the infection, and expose it, and we get if exposed to life later in life. Sorry. That's the definition of basically herd immunity as well. You still gonna get, so the vaccine is herd immunity by itself, putting in the virus. I've said it early times in earlier shows. You're putting it into a small version of the virus in you still. And that's if you get the strain wrong. That's why with flu shots, people take the shot and then they get horribly sick because their body never took to it, and it just, sometimes because you got a wrong strain and then other strain, while your body can use that strain, then your body reacts, try to fight two strains off. And that's when you get most people get sick. And sometimes, sadly, some people die. That sucks. Some people die. And that really does suck. And I feel for those who lost them. But I'm trying, again, going through Logically, looking at the definitions, let's Google, make it easy. So people can see what's going on. All right. That's what a vaccine is. So when Fauci said, "Oh, we don't need no herd immunity won't work," that's literally what the vaccine does. That's what it does. So it's kind of like when I hear a doctor say that, I'm like, what? I'm like, it is, oh man, goodness. I had a doctor say that. It makes me say some like, what is going on? But okay, you see that. Just saying, you see that. So that's what we have, viruses. So herd immunity is what's going to get us out of it. Vaccine can't work without herd immunity. And that's how it works. But I don't understand, people don't try to, again, they're trying to scare you into where what it needs to be. Let's just make things easy, okay? For people. So we have the vaccine. It's coming. Operation Swift Storm, whatever they call it, what the president call it. Hopefully it is. People go out there, you do what you gotta do, but you need herd immunity. Okay? Again, I have no problem. I don't want no people unnecessary people die uh, from this disease. That goes into the next thing that we need to talk about. And I'll bring this up. Talk about. Let me go back to mainstream before we switch into another topic that that we have. Yeah, let me go into that step before I head into that. Okay, here's what's going on. So we're supposed to flatten the curve. That's what they said. We're supposed to be doing all this stuff. When we started doing the lockdowns by the government, again, the president, even though Biden, even if Biden becomes president of the United States, he doesn't have the authority to shut down the state. He could do travel bans. Obama did when Biden and Obama was in they did a travel ban in South America and Central America for the Zika virus. Funny, a lot of people don't remember that story, how that happened. Oh, we have a virus, we can't shut down whatever, but whatever. They had a ban on for Central and South America for the Zika virus. Okay, they could do that, but to shut down economy and all of that, they don't have the power. Your states have power to do stuff. It's unconstitutional, I'll tell you that, but they have the power to, in case of emergency, to do certain things. But this is over the top abuse of powers, okay? And I'll get to that later on in the we'll get to one later that in the show. So you have that situation. So okay. Hmm. Hmm. Because of this, they wanted to make sure that the hospitals, and I'll share a chart about hospitals as well too. But they wanted to go about hospitals saying that we want to keep hospitalization low because we don't want to get overrun by the hospitals. Most hospitals was never overrun, and I mean majority of them was never run. Maybe one or two with an uptick, but that's about it. They never went 100% capacity. But let's just say that's what it was saying. Because of this, a lot of people also was scared to go to the hospital unless it was COVID, which is crazy. So if you got to go get your knee replacement, you got to check for cancer, ulcers, all kind of stuff. Those people also backed away. In other cases, they died because maybe the cancer got overblown. Sad to say, a friend of mine just had a father just passed away because of that. Not so it happens. Elective surgery is what give the hospital most of their money. That that these that the PPOs or the health insurance take care of. Well, because the government was preparing for this inadequately, I'll say, and I'm blaming all the government for the president down. Just horrible way they did this. They gave money to the hospitals. So What a hospital does, and I've talked to a, top end nurse, registered nurse, a high end nurse that I know of, also by a chemist and everything in a hospital. They passed, like I said, they give money for those who have COVID patients or whatever, give money to the hospitals. Okay, cool. The problem is with that though, that's the only way they were getting money because other people won't come into the hospital to do their elective surgery. And when that went, what do you think majority of hospitals did? Not all of them did this, but a lot of them did this. They faked up the numbers so they can get more money. Funny how that works, don't it? Huh? That's why if you listen to my past show, if you go to that link down, and you see down here where it says YouTube Project Open Mic, you go to that, you can see a past episodes and shows of this show. And I've said this before, dying with COVID and dying from COVID are two different things. There have been cases where a guy got hit by a guy on a motorcycle got hit by a bus. Oh, he died, and he had COVID in his system when he died, but that was not why he died. He got died by getting hit by a bus, or when somebody fell off a ladder, or basically they had cancer and the cancer went full crazy because they didn't want to go in and get a treatment, whatever. They died from that illness, not from the COVID, but they had COVID in them, or sometimes they say they had COVID in them because we have another problem. There's a lot of false negative, false positive um, readings. We still not have gotten the testing down to 100%. I don't even think we need to get 100%, but at least up in the 90, in the 95 percentile. I've done a video on how these numbers have changed in Orlando and everything. Like when we did a hospital, I did a show about that. Couple, like maybe 4 or 5 shows back. So we have that problem as well too. So now it gets down to like the death part. I know what the media is gonna do. It's gonna suck, but I know they're gonna do. So I'm just getting your heads up on it. Normally, at the end of the year, which is now, basically, we stop the numbers, use it as a data file, and we don't compile it no more. And we start all over. How much you want to bet they're gonna continue the number past to December? How much you want to bet they're gonna do that? They're gonna. It sucks again, but I watch enough media from all strands, Fox, ABC News, CBS, CNN, all of them, to know how they're gonna spin it, and they're gonna continue it. So that's what we know, right? Okay, let's go back to here and show you something. I'm gonna show you this. As of December 3rd, right? Let's go back to the map. In America, the United States of America, we have 268,482 deaths. Again, I don't believe that's all deaths, all that. Dying with and dying for, I just explained that. But let's take that again. Let's go with the higher number just to prove my point. Okay. All right. They are 330 million people in America. All right. Divided by, you gotta go that way, but I'm just look at that. I'm gonna give you let's go by that number we have there. So let's go back to the who. What did they said? 268,482. 268,482. 330 million divided by that. Okay. Oops, I did it opposite way. Ha ha. I am wrong. I did it the wrong way, which is my fault. I apologize for that. That was my fault on that one. There we go. That's right there. Taking them at their numbers, okay? At their numbers that they approved that they said, okay? Just saying their numbers. Your chances of dying from this virus, again, all logical. I'm not making. You see the numbers. I'm not making nothing up. I'm showing where they're going. So again, YouTube and Facebook. Look, I'm doing by the numbers. I'm showing the numbers, okay, and showing how I'm doing this. As the old saying, as my old teacher would say, I'm showing the work, okay, showing the work. So here we go. Your chances of dying from this virus is 0.000811314 if you want to write it all up. Very small. So small. Very small again. Just letting you know that. If you're under 70, your chances go spectacularly up. If your chances, if you don't have no comorbidities, your chances go even way up. So those zeros, add more zeros going that way. That's how it is. Just saying. If you have those, then if you have that, you're careful. But even with those numbers, people with that, you still have a very small chance of dying from this. Just saying. So again, I think it's overblown. Okay, not saying that it's not something dangerous. It's just overblown. Just proving it. Okay. All right. Here's something. Now I can't use last year's numbers. Why? Because every place I go, even the CDC themselves, they're twisting the numbers around, and I hate they're doing that. Don't do it. So I'm going to use 2018 numbers. It sucks, but it's a thing. Okay. CDC 2000 the 2018 2019 season fluenza. Just let you see here. Highlight for you. CDC estimates influenza was associated with more than 35 million 35.5 million illnesses, more than 16.5 million medical visits, 490 and 490,600 hospitalizations, and 34,200 deaths. Ah, man, I'm reading. I'm trying to read fast, whatever. Deaths. Okay, that's what we have. Now, remember I said they're gonna tax it off as the numbers of that. I'm telling you, when January come, you're gonna still see 200 and something thousand like you see on the WHO, or if you go to the CDC, you're still gonna see it. Now, of course, last year, 605,000 people died from heart disease. From heart disease. Yeah. Some of the stuff that people did by their own, whatever, but it's a way bigger number than we have now. Okay. And the number you see right here that I've got my mice around, that doesn't scare me because there's billions of people on the planet. 1 million people died. Happens easy. I mean, well, again, let's even ask if Google could help us out. Let's see. I don't want that. Take that out of the way. I just want regular. See, that's what I'm saying. That's where you got to be careful. A lot of stuff. I don't want COVID deaths. I want regular people who died. How much people die each year? That's birth. I don't ask. I don't. Again, it's the births. I want deaths. 2015, 55 million people died. Okay. So 55 million, and world population increased to 48 million in that year. Increase. Okay. So let's go with that. So 58, 58. Okay, there you go. So it's going up. We didn't have the COVID and everything, but we had that, and then back in the 1960s, of course, went down in the 60s, 70s, rose up in the 90s. Okay, my point is still that you can see it's like that. So let's go. Let's just take again. Let's go with 55. There you go. There you go. Let's go with that. Let me go to my calculator here. All right. So 5 million. Oops, not 255. 55. 55 million divided by 365. So 150,640 and 84 deaths per day on average, give or take or two. So this year, a million went to one virus, but the 55 other one went to someplace else. Shocking? No. Again, not surprised. That's why I'm not scared by the number. All this year, I understand why we didn't know about stuff. Let's be careful. Let's be like that. I get it. But again, I'm showing you these numbers as an extra so you can see that the numbers are still very small. Be careful. Again, I'll keep have to say because I know how again the Autobots work. Be careful, but yeah, that's just what it is. So there you go. Again, this is you and I going through these things piece by piece so people can see what we're going through. Okay. Now, let me see if I have anything else I wanna. So we gone through the numbers. I just showed you the numbers. I've gone through the numbers. I've gone to regular stuff. Talk about it logically. Look, we're not. This thing's gonna be around until I pass away, until you pass away. If you listeners out there, until y'all pass away, it's not going nowhere. So I, on the hand, understand that. I accept that. It sucks, but I accept it. It is what it is. It's already in the air, droplets, microns that can't even see unless it's on a light microscope. And people wearing masks ain't this. When your skin breathe and your nose, your eye, everything, this, to be honest, ain't really gonna do nothing. Really ain't. Okay? Just not. Again, just being logical and being honest right here. Now, we're gonna be now. Let's take this and just stare it away and go to something else that needs to be talked about. Now, when I had my friends over at the house, we talked. Like I said, we got into it. We talked a little bit about it, and I get it. I understand. We talked about it. Now, we're just showing you those numbers and just showing you what it is. and telling you the honest truth that a lot of people are scared to tell you that this thing's gonna stay around forever. Just we're gonna have to live with it. It sucks, but it's true. Then why are we ruining other people's lives and causing more deaths in other ways than just leave it being whatever? Again, I'm not saying that the virus don't do that much damage. I'm gonna keep on saying because of the bots. But let's look at this logically. Take a deep breath and logically think about it. Now I'm going to talk about the other half of what I put into the for tonight's show, which I talked about if in the description where we said mic check on the government. Okay, the government has been saying some crazy stuff. If you saw my last show, which was 2 weeks ago, 'cause I didn't do a show last time because of the Thanksgiving. On the chopper block was Gavin Newsom and his stupid rules. So with this now, I'm going to tell people again, you're going to see and hear some cursing and stuff like that. You just see, I can do it, go through it, but you're going to hear some cursing going because a lot of people are irate about this. So I apologize for the cursing, not for young kids. Then you know that, warn it up ahead again, because I'm going to show you some clips, some videos where it's just, yeah, really it just really ticks people off. Now, like I said, if these people who were saying this to us were saying okay that and they were following their rules, then I would have no problem with it. But they don't have no rules. So with that, I have to do this. Rules for thee, not for me. The Ultimate Edition, literally. Ultimate Edition. But before we get into that, really, no. I really did it in my mind. I want to show you one video. It's gonna take a while, but let's go through because I want this. You guys can see this. John Hopkins took some data, like you saw what I just did. Look at the data that they have and use their data. But John Hopkins took their data, put it together with the CDC, put it with the WHO, look at their numbers, and was throwing stuff and not throwing stuff, sorry, and checking the data to see that the numbers, like I just showed you, like I just did. I'm not a doctor. I'm just looking at the numbers that they gave me, and I computed them right in front of your eyes so you can see it. That the numbers of death is super, super small. Nothing really super major. And we cause it, and the outstanding deaths of not going to get your surgery, cancer, not doing your checkups, people do more alcoholism, suicides has gone up, like more other those have combined even more than and doing more damage. So I'm gonna give it to let me see here. I want to make sure I have the right video to queue up. No, I do not. Really? Okay, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way, which kind of sucks. It sucks, but hey, I thought I had it queued up, but I didn't. That's my fault. I apologize for that. Okay.
Each area.
Of course, this will happen. That's why I thought I had it queued up. That I don't have to go through the thing. Now, shout outs is a discussion. This is a guy from the Blaze, Young Ripper, a black guy, a libertarian like I am, and just talking about this issue that we have right here. So let me just bring him up. going on to what we were saying. This is John. He's talking about again. He's talking about John Hopkins did a data about what they have and see that it was a small number, and then they published it and they took it back down because the asinine way they say, oh, this is causing misinformation, which is not. But because people are telling that the truth from the video, from their information, the uppers stop this because, again, everybody's biased. Okay, I'm biased, and the uppers are biased because you're messing with the money, man. So you see, they're gonna mess with the regular people's money, but the elites' money and stuff. No, we can't mess with them. So take it away, Young Rip.
This was an interesting thing. And I want to let you draw your conclusions if you're watching this after the fact, 4cannonshake.com, wherever you're listening to this. I need to know in the comment section of that. Because what happened was John Hopkins, they published an article on the 22nd. And it basically showed how the impact of, definitely in reference to deaths, were, let's say, exaggerated. Interesting enough, they took it down. Now, I got it, of course, and they still show that it's available. But think about that. Think about that. John Hopkins, which is supposed to be reputable, definitely in the age of medicine. The modern medicine and science. Okay? Why on earth would something that they published, why on earth would they take it down?
Each area features a slew of tasks for you to get accustomed to, but don't stay focused on your map.
Now we're gonna read what conclusion they came to, and this is what's starting to happen, guys. We talked about the Danish study, where RCTs and other types of studies are starting to come out, and it's highlighting how the reaction, as John Ioannidis called back in March, he said that this potentially has the chance to be one of the biggest evidence fiascos. And that's what it's looking like. A big evidence fiasco. Of course, led by governments around the world. But think about that. They themselves published it and they took it down. Not someone or some other medium took it down. They took the bitch down. And they were the ones that published it. It says, editor's note, after this newsletter published this article on November the 22nd, it was brought to our attention that our coverage of Genevieve Baron's presentation, COVID-19's deaths, look at U.S. data, has been used to support dangerous inaccuracies that minimize the impact of the pandemic. Like, basically, oh shit, y'all honestly analyzed what we had said, and yeah, y'all are now knocking. It's almost like someone even above them gave them some marching orders and said, nah, man, this is going to allow people to wake up to this bullshit. You need to take it down. We decided on November the 26th to retract this article. This is bizarre. To stop the spread of misinformation. Y'all were the ones that published it. They were the ones that published it. Imagine that. We're going to stop the spread of misinformation. And notice they're not saying that they were spreading their misinformation. They're saying that, I guess, people's analysis of it. We're going to go through this here in a little bit. We have chosen to take down the article from my website, but it is available here as a PDF. So what does it say? What possibly could this have said that made them take the bitch down? A closer look at the U.S. deaths to COVID-19. Here we have a chart. We have a percentage of total deaths per age. And as you can see, the older you are, the more of the percentage of deaths that it seems to rather represent.
True.
85 years and older. All ages of 62,000, looking like per week. And here it is, says, according to new data, the U.S. currently ranks first in COVID-19 cases, new cases per day, and deaths. Genevieve Braun says, assistant program director of the Applied Economics master's degree program at Hopkins, critically analyzed the effect of COVID-19 on U.S. deaths using data from the Center for, the CDC, in a webinar titled COVID-19 Deaths, a look at U.S. data. From mid-March to mid-September, U.S. total deaths have reached 1.7 million, of which 200,000 or 12% of total deaths are COVID-19 related. Instead of looking directly at COVID-19 deaths, Briand, or I might be saying her name wrong, Briand, I'm just going to say that, focused on total deaths per age group and per cause of death in U.S. and uses information to shed light on the effects of COVID-19. She explained that the significance of COVID-19 on U.S. deaths can be fully understood through comparison to the number of total deaths in the United States. After retrieving data on the CDC website, Brian compiled a graph representing percentages of total deaths per age category from early February to early September, which includes the period before COVID-19 was detected in U.S. to after the infection rates soared. Surprisingly, which it shouldn't actually be, the deaths of older people stayed the same before and after COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Since COVID-19 mainly affects elderly, experts expected an increase in the percentage of deaths in older age groups. However, this increase is not seen from the CDC data. I wonder why they would take that down. Why would they take this down? Huh? Why would they take that? Why would they want to take this article down that highlights that?
Please.
The reason we have higher number of reported COVID-19 deaths among older individuals than younger individuals is simply because every day in the U.S., older individuals die in higher numbers than younger individuals. No shit.
Seriously, who didn't think that?
Brian also noted that 50,000 to 70,000 deaths are seen both before and after COVID-19, indicating that this number of deaths was normal long before COVID-19.
So basically, the deaths rate of capital and what's happening for the old people stay the same.
Has the COVID-19 had no effect on the percentage of deaths of older people?
Yep.
But it has also not increased the total numbers of deaths. These data analysis suggests that in contrast to most people's assumption, the number of deaths by COVID-19 is not alarming. Why would they take that down, guys? Why would they take that down? Think about it. Like, if you don't think you're being fucking played, just think to yourself, this is important information. Maybe this will stop people from freaking out. So why on earth would they analyze this and take it down?
And just like as I said before, I showed just doing their numbers. It still will not. If you have logic and you look at it, it's like still the chances of dying from that thing is still infinitesimal in a way. So, like he was saying, that's why I went through the logically step by step, talking from what the virus is, what it means, what it is. Look at the numbers using their numbers, which is higher than they think they are, and present it to you. And yeah, and then this Brianna from Johns Hopkins came with the same thing. And the reason I'm letting the video go and let Young Ripper, like I said, you can check Young Ripper 59. Shout outs to him. Like I said, I'm subscribed and also thing. But I'm just saying, I'm letting him go through this because I try to find. I had an article like he had, but in archive, which is my fault. So it didn't get archived. So it's like, what the hold up, what just happened? So yeah, I'm using him to read out what he has on the PDF.
Talking about, well, a lot of misinformation is being spread. What? That people are saying, well, according to John Hopkins, the deaths aren't alarming. There's been no change in the deaths of old people.
Exactly.
This comes as a shock to many people, not to me.
Not to me.
How is it that the data lies so far from our perception? I could draw some inferences. I've been ahead of this since fucking March. To answer the question, Brianne shifted her focus to the deaths per causes ranging from 2014 to 2020. There's a sudden increase in deaths in 2020 due to COVID-19. This is no surprise because COVID-19 emerged in the early 2020. So basically, yes, there's an increase of COVID deaths.
Well, yeah.
COVID-19 deaths in 2020. No shit. Emerged in early 2020, and thus COVID-related deaths increased drastically afterward. Analysis of deaths per cause in 2018 revealed that the pattern of seasonal increase in the total number of deaths is a result of the rise of deaths by all causes, with the top three being heart disease, respiratory disease, influenza, and pneumonia.
Crappy crap.
This is true every year.
It is.
Every year in the U.S., we observe seasonal ups and downs. We have an increase of deaths due to all causes.
Hell, we were doing worse when in summer because we locked people in. And again, CDC and in New York, the health organization, the DHS in New York said the disease, it was just funny. Remember, they tell you to stay inside. The disease spread more inside. That's what they said. The DHS of New York. They did a study and found that it spread more inside. So are we surprised that now that the winter's coming out and it's getting cold and everything, people stay inside, it's spreading? That's what I was saying back in March. Literally. I was like, this is going to bubble back up again next winter. It's going to happen. So I'm not scared of it, but let's see what's going on with it. It was still new, and I gave the benefit of the doubt that this is new, this disease is dangerous and whatever. But seeing what people are talking about, the symptoms, seeing what it does, whatever, again, that's where you have to have healthy life. Drink bottles of water, do exercise, do stuff, be healthy. Seriously, that's just the way I look at it.
And as I'm reading this, you have to think to yourself, why on earth would they take this shit down? When Brianne looked at the 2020 data during the seasonal period, COVID-19 related deaths exceeded deaths from heart diseases. This was highly unusual since heart disease has always prevailed as the leading cause of deaths. However, when taking a closer look at the death numbers, she noted something strange. As Brianne compared the number of deaths per cause during the period of 2020 to 2018, she noticed that instead the expected drastic increase across all causes, there was a significant decrease in deaths due to heart diseases. Basically, they swapped. Even more surprising, as seen in the graph below, this sudden decline in deaths is observed for all other causes. Guys, why would they take this down? Do y'all not understand what she just said?
I understand.
She is saying that, okay, obviously, we saw this uptick in COVID-19 deaths.
Exactly.
You're comparing 2020 to 2018, however, there was a significant decrease in deaths due to heart diseases, but not just heart diseases, everywhere else. So again, it's like the death swap. And this is another thing that Johnny Anitas was talking about early on in the pandemic. It's like when we look at COVID-19, and we analyze the deaths and the numbers, would those people have died from something else anyway?
Yeah, it would. And it's sad. I'm not saying that it should be that, but I get what he's saying.
This trend is completely contrary to the pattern observed in all previous years. Interestingly, as depicted in the table below, the total decrease in deaths by other causes almost exactly equals the increase in deaths by COVID-19.
Yeah.
This suggests, according to
That's what she was showing
Brienne,
right here.
that the COVID-19 death toll is misleading.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brienne believes that the deaths due to heart diseases, respiratory diseases, influenza, and pneumonia may instead be recategorized as being due to COVID-19. Holy shit. Again, this is one of their own experts that is analyzing the data. Honestly, albeit.
Well, like I said before,
Why on earth
dying with
would they
and
take
dying
this?
from.
What possibly could someone take from this and say,
And like I said, dying with and dying from are two different things. That's why I said what I said.
well, it's being used as misinformation? No. We're just going by what was stated.
And even when I use their numbers, as again, I showed you before, you saw how small the number was. So if we go with if we could go with real numbers, holy crap, I bet you might tack on a couple more zeros just for the general public. And again, if you're under 70, it goes for the more zeros. And if you're young and you have no comorbidities, it'll be even more smaller.
Y'all said that. So it's almost like, again, someone above them gave them marching orders and said, hey, this will stop people from freaking out. And it's coming from Johns Hopkins, which people have seen as arguably reputable. Hell, we've been referencing Johns Hopkins to legitimize, flatten the curve, and all of these other sorts of ideas that have been
I said before,
implemented across the country. Mm-hmm. You can't say that. So they take it down. And again, going back to what they said, we decided to retract this article to stop the spread of misinformation. What spread of misinformation?
Exactly. What's the spread of misinformation you have? I agree.
The CDC classified all deaths that are related to COVID-19 as simply COVID-19 deaths. Even patients dying from other underlying diseases but are infected with COVID-19 count as COVID-19 deaths. Stuff we had been talking about long before now.
So did I.
This is likely the main explanation as to why COVID-19 death drastically increased while deaths by all other diseases experienced a significant decrease. This is why I was saying it was like it was a swap. It was like other deaths and people dying from those were being included in the numbers. So it inflates them. So you're seeing obviously a decrease in numbers elsewhere, deaths from other things, while seeing an uptick, obviously because it just kind of happened, in COVID. So it's like one replaced the other, but it wasn't a significant increase in deaths altogether. That's basically the analysis that is happening here.
What he's showing on it.
If the COVID-19 death toll was not misleading at all, what we should have observed is an increase of heart attacks and increased COVID-19 numbers. But a decreased number of heart attacks and all other death causes doesn't give us a choice but to point to some misclassification.
I'm not surprised.
Which is rational. Like, well, okay, how do people stop dying from everything else while COVID-19 is happening? This is a legitimate concern. This is a legitimate thing to worry about.
True. Yeah.
And again, this is great news, though. Maybe bad news if you are a doom and gloomer, but this is great news in the sense that basically what she's doing is analyzing the data in comparison to a year prior.
Yeah.
She's saying that there hasn't been this uptick in deaths altogether. That's good news.
It is. That's what I
That
showed.
means, well, it's not as deadly as what they had initially anticipated. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't die from it.
Exactly. You can die from it.
It's like, why are we freaking out? 99% survivability rate, and yet here we are. And also, as discovered, when comparing it to a year prior in 2018, there is no significant increase in deaths altogether. And if our assumptions, like stated, were to be correct, or their assumptions, then we should have saw a decrease across the board. There should be no downtick in other things.
Because at that
And
point,
here we are. Misclassification. And this is what a lot of us alluded to. And God forbid one of the experts actually say something like this. And here we are. In other words,
well, and again, that's what I'm saying. If it's 0.0, as I showed before, I already don't change my numbers already. If it's I think I already have changed my numbers. Yeah, but if it's 0.00008, like I showed you before, then it's a high 99% probability of you will survive. He is correct. And that's why I showed before by just doing the numbers, doing the
as far
math.
as the effect of
showing what's going on.
COVID-19 on deaths in the U.S. is considered problematic only when it increases the total number of deaths or the true death burden by a significant amount, in addition to the expected deaths by other causes. Since the crude number of total deaths by all causes before and after COVID-19 has stayed the same, one can hardly say, in Brianne's view, that COVID-19 deaths are concerning. Why would they take this down?
Because if we don't lead, it bleeds. That's the news media one, and that's the governments don't, and the governors don't
Why
want
would
it
they take this down?
because they don't want to lose their power. That's what it is.
According to Brianne, the over-exaggeration of COVID-19 death number may be due to the constant emphasis of COVID-19 related deaths and the habitual overlooking of deaths by other natural causes in society. Yeah. That's all people have been focused on. I've talked about my own more of the nurse practitioner had been saying that, worrying about the other things and other obviously issues that go rather undiagnosed, because there's so much focus on COVID-19 as if nothing else exists in the world. No other disease.
Just like I talked about, talking to the nurse and the high-end nurse as well, to the lead nurse and everything, saying, when she was like, yeah, because of that and nobody's doing the other stuff, yeah, the hospital is trying to push to get more cases so they can get their pay, because the elective surgery is not there for the insurance to pay. That's what that makes majority of the money. So they're pushing it so they could get their money.
There's no other illnesses and such. When asked whether the public should be informed about this exaggeration of numbers, which, of course, should not be a question, what should they be informed? What do you mean, should they be informed?
They should be informed.
How it says they have the right to know the truth. However, COVID-19 should still continuously be treated as a deadly disease and safeguard to the vulnerable population.
Yes.
It's almost like people have been saying that from the get-go, that maybe if you are to try to save a particular population, you save the vulnerable population, not the people, I don't know, that have a 99% chance of survival.
Exactly.
Hell, old people, even some old people have a high chance of survival. This is unbelievable. As Johnny Anita said, it was one of the biggest evidence fiascos, but more importantly, you are seeing how they don't want this information to be understood and analyzed. Instead, they want you scared. It legitimizes all the authoritarian bull crap that they've been implementing throughout this entire course of this pandemic. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that they would take this article down, unless they specifically want you to remain scared. Talking about some misinformation that is being spread, that people are using the article to spread misinformation. Bull crap. They just want you scared. And as more people analyze data, you're starting to see that the numbers, they funky, man. But unfortunately, they are using them to gain and maintain control, power, and they need you to be scared to damn death to do that, because all of this comes off as absolutely nonsense. Absolute nonsense in the event that you understand what's going on, but they don't want you to understand, and that's why they retract the article.
Yeah, and that's why that is true, and that's why I was bringing up. So that's why I stated out from the beginning of this video. Logically going to the numbers, using their numbers, even still ridiculous. Using the numbers that they have, it still was ridiculous. But that's what we have now. I was like, okay, that don't make no sense. So, in that regard, I want to talk about, like you said, with hospital stuff. So I just want to bring up the hospital stuff that we see here. Remember, they said we're supposed to take down that the hospitals, the blah blah blah, the hospitals and stuff. So let's go to the numbers that you see on the screen about the hospitalizations in America.
Are amazing. So what you're seeing here, okay, so you have two graphs there. So on the top graph is the non-ICU bed situation. So in essence, what you're seeing, if you start at 5/31, so we'll start at the end of May, about 10% in non-ICU, so non-emergency beds were taken, okay, 10%. And then you can follow the dates along. At one point we got up to 15, then we went down again. We got it all the way down to about 6% in October. And now right now, as of, what is this? As of basically last week, we're at 12%, okay?
Yep.
12% of non-ICU beds, but they're telling us this is the crisis of all crises and hospitals are gonna be overrun. I live near two hospitals that we drove by in the last couple days. The hospital that's right by my house is basically completely empty.
Before we go into that, so what you saw, I'm gonna repeat the show, but what you see right there, right? Okay. Confirmed, red. Check for that. Not non. We were never at the highest for the hospitalizations. Excuse me. Confirm admitted into the ICU. That's what you're gonna see down here in the bottom part. So we never got up. So when we just looking at the testing, the percentage was still low. And when in the hospital was that? Of course, you're gonna see the hospitalization is here now, and you see we still wasn't nowhere close to the cap of this. But he's gonna explain that more. But that's what it is.
12%, okay? 12% of non-ICU beds, but they're telling us this is the crisis of all crises and hospitals are gonna be overrun. I live near two hospitals that we drove by in the last couple days. The hospital that's right by my house is basically completely empty. It looks like a ghost town, okay? Because people aren't even going for other procedures right now because they're so afraid. And then I went to a hospital that I drove by a hospital on the way to Home Depot that's about maybe 10 miles away, and it was basically nobody in the parking lot or anything else. There's also a makeshift coronavirus testing facility, an outdoor testing facility. It was completely empty. Zero people there. This is just a couple days ago. The chart on the bottom, if we could throw that up again. The chart on the bottom is, wait, which one's non-ICU? Michael, help me out here for just a sec. I'm looking at two things here. Okay, the chart on the bottom is the ICU beds. So ICU beds, if you look at that, in April at 40% of beds in ICUs, right, they were taken by COVID patients. Well, then we did a nice job, and you can see this basically going down, and now we're at 24% as of a week ago. 24%. I welcome you to look at this chart yourself. Blow it up, pause it, take a look. You can see we have more beds than we need. That isn't to say that spikes can't happen. That isn't to say that people can't get sick. That isn't to say that a hospital couldn't be overrun. Have we had any hospitals overrun in the United States? Why haven't we seen massive outbreaks in all these homeless encampments? You know, here in the United States, here in Los Angeles, the People's Republic of Los Angeles, we have homeless encampments all over the place. They build these tents, these makeshift cities. Sometimes, you know, I'll go under a bridge on a Saturday and I'll be like, oh, look, there's a new mini house under the bridge. And the next day they put in a whole extension and they have a whole new house there. And it's very impressive that they can build them that quickly. Well, how come those people, who, by the way, in this idiotic order by Garcetti, he says something like people who are currently experiencing homelessness are exempt from these orders. If you're currently experiencing homelessness, you're exempt.
Jeez.
Okay? You realize how bananas these statements are? So, but why is it that with all these homeless encampments that we have in Los Angeles, run by a progressive, and in San Francisco, run by a progressive, why is it that we haven't seen massive breakouts there? Why is it that we haven't seen, where are 5 hospitals that have been overrun in the United States? Is this odd? Does anyone think this is odd? I think it's a little odd. I'm starting to think it's a little odd. You see what I'm saying there? But again, don't take my word for any of this. You know, we're going to put the link. Let's put the link to this image in the description so that people can actually take a look. But you will see we have way more beds here in LA in ICU and in non-ICU than we need at the moment. And yet they are telling us, don't leave your house, don't walk your dog.
And I cut it. I guess I'm trying my best to stop the cursing. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to stop the cursing. So I will bring Ruben back up because God said he said something. But I want to play. Oops, nope, this one. Yeah. Give me 1 second there. I want to bring that tape up.
I made a big serious.
Okay. So we have the usual crap, which I hate.
I want to apologize to the internet.
You heard it for a second. The stupid people apologize. People who apologize, they don't apologize because they really meant it. They apologize because they got caught, and that nonsense the apology is even more disheartening and just despicable. Okay, and it's stupid. Some of it's just because people doing it to bend the knee. And yeah, I'm gonna play a couple examples because again, when I see stuff like this, it's like, please, you got caught. You got to do something back. Y'all are horrible at this.
Apology video.
I want to apologize to the internet.
I do want to tell you how unbelievably sorry I am.
I'm really sorry if I offended, hurt, or disappointed
Whatever.
anyone.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
Wow.
Speaking of apologies, there's some.
That's great acting right there. Holy crap! The fake tears.
Something else that I messed up on that I wasn't clear enough on regarding Dr. Mike, the Sanjay Gupta wannabe YouTube doctor who got caught committing the sin of non-essential travel and.
Which is true. This is a doctor on CNN and all stuff. Oh, we should wear a mask. We should do this or that. You see carefully. You see the picture right there, though, for his birthday, and this is a rolling theme with the birthdays. But for his birthday, though, where is he? Out there partying with all the girls. Where's the mask? Mask? No mask. No mask. I don't see no mask, of course.
Non-social distancing to celebrate his birthday party despite preaching that that's what we all need to do. I should have made it clear that his apology, which he basically plagiarized from Gavin Newsom after he got caught being a hypocrite and violating the very policies that he was advocating, was posted on his second YouTube channel that hardly has any subscribers compared to his massive 6.5 million on his main channel. The reason for this is because he knows that 99% of his subscribers never heard of the story because it wasn't like a big story, but he wanted to be able to virtue signal when he was confronted about it that he admitted his mistake and he apologized by posting it on his second channel so that hardly anybody would see it.
I also happen to be the most followed doctor on social media with 3.5 million subscribers.
Whoopee. Great. You're still a douchebag.
Wow, you're a big star. Now you're over 6 million. And I'm sure that your patients get the quality care that they deserve while you're busy making YouTube videos. His channel looks like a mixture between supposed medical advice and entertainment, and literally looks like he's BuzzFeed's resident doctor. And judging by his Instagram account, it looks like he spends more time working on his biceps than he does practicing medicine. Seriously, what kind of a doctor hires a professional photographer to follow them around New York City and take pictures of them posing in different suits? Hey, look at me, walking through the streets of New York City in my fancy suit. I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and ponder what my next YouTube video is gonna be. Here's me wearing a stethoscope. See, I am a real doctor. This guy's gotta be gay. No normal person would be doing this. And every day we catch new coronavirus hypocrites.
He ain't that. It's just, they just do what they do. They're looking for attention. They seek attention. That's what it is. The attention whore. Just like Fauci did the same thing to like a show when he had his mask off. They're like, oh, wear a mask. Yeah, you did a mask when you went to the Nationals game. Oh, well, that was just my wife. No, there was a guy beside you and your wife. But whatever.
It's like this LA County supervisor who was caught dining outdoors just hours after literally voting to shut down dining outdoors in all of Los Angeles.
Of course.
And the Denver mayor who told everybody not to travel for
And we're going to get into we're going to go deeper into these, but just let you know.
Thanksgiving, and then got caught at an airport traveling for Thanksgiving. The mayor of San Francisco just got caught violating social.
This one, oh my goodness. And we're going to go deeply into this in a little bit. This one is a shocker. You would think London Breed, mayor of San Francisco, after Gavin Newsom, how crappy we saw what he did, you would think after seeing the S-load that went with him going to the French Laundry and see that he lied, went for a birthday of lobbyists and medical experts who say, you guys should not do this. You would think, but she went and the night after and did the same thing. And I'm not saying that these guys, I'm not saying that they're not only just hypocrite. My thing is like, they don't care. You follow the rules and we don't follow it. That's all. If this was, this is the other part that I was trying to tell my friends at Thanksgiving. I'm saying, okay, you got a COVID. Even though the numbers I just showed you up front, you see how the media does certain things. I just showed you that. Now we get to the other part. Now this is why, again, when you take a person's livelihood away from doing what they're doing to make their money, and then you flaunt this by doing this stuff. Yeah, I'm not for you. No. Oh, if you follow what you preach, then I'll be like, okay, that's the rules. I get it. It's stupid, but as long as you're doing is all right. No. Not really.
Social distancing policies, indoor dining with a large group of her friends, and this is not a joke, at the same fancy restaurant, the French Laundry, that Governor Gavin Newsom got caught at. And the mayor of San Jose, California, just issued an apology after getting caught having a bunch of family and friends over to his house for Thanksgiving, despite, as you know, telling everybody to cancel their Thanksgiving. I'm not sure who are bigger hypocrites, politicians or celebrities, and rapper Cardi B just apologized for having 40 people over to her house for Thanksgiving. Another celebrity who thankfully I haven't wasted a single brain cell remembering a song that she sings, named Rita Ora, got fined over in the UK for violating their social distancing policies by celebrating her birthday. The best one, however, is this Texas judge who literally issued the stay-at-home order for his county, but then broke that order to go and attend his grandson's birthday party and was photographed and got caught and given a $1,000 fine for violating the very order that he issued.
All these birthdays that people are going to, I tell you, you see the theme, birthday parties.
Oh, by the way, speaking of doctors, Dr. Fauci, who reminds me of Dr. Klopek from the movie The Burbs, that old Tom Hanks movie from the 1980s, he finally said that the kids should be in school and that closing the schools is wrong.
The default position should be to try as best as possible within reason to keep the children in school or to get them back to school. You look at the data, the spread among children and from children is not really very big at all, not like one would have suspected. So let's
No, we expected that from the mostly almost from the beginning. I've said that too. We looked at the numbers. In LA County, they had what? Only 2 kids died from COVID? And LA County has 80 million people. I mean, I'm sorry, not 80 million. I'm sorry. 8 million people. I apologize. No, I gotta get my numbers straight. 8 million people and two kids, I don't know, the kids died. And again, is it from COVID or with COVID?
try to get the kids back, but let's try to mitigate the things that maintain and just push the kind of community spread that we're trying to avoid. And those are the things that you know well. The bars, the restaurants where you have capacity seating indoors without masks. Those are the things that drive the community spread, not the schools.
It's great you finally figured this out, Dr. Klopek.
I got a question though. Won't the planes do it? The buses as well too? The trains? Being at a baseball game without a mask?
World's most renowned virologist, 8 months into the pandemic, it turns out that President Trump was right again. And if you noticed how most doctors have God complexes, it's the only career where people insist on being called by their job title, even while they're not on the job. You know, you're at a party and you meet someone, they're not Mr. Fauci, they're Dr. Fauci. Or they bring their car.
I'll leave the rest to you, sir. So let's switch it up to another thing that we're gonna talk about. I want to go back to I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this before that. So before we roll into the and finish with this. So I like this one. I'm going to play for you right here because, and I did the numbers. I'll show you. So people are getting sick and tired of this. So hey, I like the owner. Let's go with this.
To a local reporter on what's going on with the lockdowns. Let's take a look.
The details on why the judge said no. Tavarius, is everything okay?
Okay. Our government leaders have abandoned me. Are you the owner? $4 trillion of stimulus money. They gave it to who? Special interest groups and campaign donors. I'm Dave Morse. I own the place. So what's going on? What's going on? You know what's going on. Tell me. You tell me. Hey, we got a government that has taken the stimulus money. They gave it to special campaign donors. They gave it to special interests. They abandoned me, and they have put me in a position where I have to fight back. Okay? So do you feel that this is the right thing to do? Absolutely. I feel everybody needs to stand up. Hey, listen, there was enough money to give every family in this country $20,000 to go home for 2 months. They chose to give it to special interests and campaign donors, the Kennedy Space Center, and they abandoned us. So you could have given me money. I'd gladly walk away for 60 days and let this virus settle down. I'm not going to do it alone. Okay? Are you
Amen, brother.
To violate the state's orders and
hell yeah.
State order. This isn't an order. This is a conspiracy. This is a tyranny. What do you want to tell other restaurant owners who wake up, stand up? This is America. Be free. I got patriots coming out.
I'd vote for that guy too.
Yeah, Ruben. Yeah, I'm here with him too. Now, we're gonna say that his numbers might not whatever. Okay, well, let's look at the initial way it's supposed to be. Let's look at a number. Let's look at a number here. Give me a second. Let me switch back over to the other screen. That. There you go. All right, just to let you know. So there. As to point out, over the age of 18, there's 209,000 people. I'm rounding down because it's 100,000, 209 million people, adults over 18. That's what we have in America, right? Let's be honest. Some don't work with all the stuff, homeless, everything. But that's all. Okay. So if we take that, right? Just say that. And we give them, right? And we divide that by the money that the stimulus went out of. We take the 2 trillion divided by the 209 million. We got $14,375 and $54. Now I got a $1,200 check. You might have got a $1,200 check. There's a lot of people who didn't get bupkis. So yeah, kind of funny how that worked, huh? He was kind of correct. Not 100% because he said 20,000. I get that, but I understand where he's coming from. You give us that, yeah, I'll take that. You give me that, I will take the 2 months and stay in my house and let this all flatline. To a degree, because I'm going to show you why that would be a problem. Still, again, you're changing one. You changing one evil to another evil. I'm going to show you that, and that's how that regard. So that's that. He said for all the owners to stand up. Well, so if that's the case, let me show you. Like he said, this stand up, right? Now this one's gonna be again profanity lace. I am not. But I want to play because of what happens in it. So I want to. Bear with me. After this basis, as far as the profanity lace is gonna go, and then we're gonna be back to whatever. But it's the raw emotion. I gotta show the raw emotion of people what they're saying. I do. So make sure it's on the screen. It's on the screen. Okay, let's go. Okay. So we're gonna show this video, this clip, because again, it's emotion. The guy is straight up emotional. So let's go with that.
Go in and shut him down. Then hundreds of people showed up to fight it, which they damn well should, and we're all for protest, right? But apparently not
exactly
protests. So this is a video of Chef Andrew Gruel outside of the protest at Max.
All right, I'm out here in front of Max Public House, 130 Lincoln Avenue, being raided by the fucking sheriff's department, okay? This tiny little place trying to make a fucking living, okay? 350 people in an airplane, thousands of planes, okay? This close to each other. Costco's open, Home Depot, people lined up, backed up with each other. This guy can't open his fucking business. It's shame on you fucking people. Shame on everybody for letting this fucking happen. There should be 1,000 people out here right now while they're getting fucking raided by the goddamn Gestapo. Tomorrow is Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. I want this fucking street shut down with 10,000 fucking people. Because if we don't show up and show fucking face, we're going to lose this whole fucking battle. Disgusting. You should all be fucking disgusted with yourselves. If they fear you, they won't fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? Get the fuck out here tomorrow night, Wednesday. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock in front of Max Public House. This is disgusting.
Recently, we heard that a bar owner.
And this is what happened. This is a lot of people who came out. This kind of protest, they don't want you to see. The other one, they just know because it's optics, and as we're gonna learn as well too. It's just crazy.
Owner in Staten Island was defying the coronavirus lockdown in New York, and police came and actually arrested the man. What was crazy about it is that this guy's on the boundary of the different orange zone and red zone or whatever. So only a block or two away, there are restaurants functioning completely as if there is no COVID. It's totally normal. You can go in, sit down, eat inside. But this guy's bar shut down. Well, he said enough. People need to work. He said we have nothing left to lose. We're on the verge of collapse. And he doesn't even know if he can save his bar at this point. So we opened it up, said free food and free drinks. Just donate if you can. And cops came in violation of the Constitution, the supreme law of this land, and arrested the man. They violated his constitutional right to peaceably assemble. And, as some would argue, the 14th Amendment to be equal under the law. Because just 2 blocks away, as I mentioned, people are living their lives like normal. Now, hundreds of people in Staten Island came out and protested. And it's not just this story that's getting a lot of attention. A man in Michigan opening his restaurant. He walks up. There's a new.
That's what I just played that you saw.
News report going on where they're like, this restaurant is staying open. The guy walks up behind the camera. You can see it. It's crazy. Real time. And he says, are you talking about this? I'm the owner. People, you need to stand up and say, no, the government printed trillions of dollars and they gave it all to special interest groups, to their donors, and to the massive multinational corporations. This is the largest transfer of wealth in U.S. history. And so long as this money is going to massive multinational corporations, it is being stripped away from the American people. Don't believe me? I am going to show you a statistic right now that is going to make you, well, let's just say drop a load in your pants right now. So I hope you're ready.
Not me.
What is happening with everything we are seeing is that small businesses, the businesses that are the lifeblood of this country, the money that circulates in our communities and makes sure that we survive, is being extracted. And it is going to the likes of Amazon, big multinational corporations. Many of these companies hire foreign workers, not American citizens. Our wealth is being extracted not just from us to the wealthy, but from us to foreign countries. Dylan Ratigan brought it up. Remember Dylan Ratigan, MSNBC? I believe it was like 2012 or 2013 when he said this country is being extracted in many ways, but he also mentioned through trade. It's happening now, and it's being accelerated. It's almost as if they are angry that Donald Trump bolstered the U.S. economy to the extent that he did, and they're trying now to beat the U.S. back down and give our money away. You ready for the stat that is going to make your jaw drop? I hope y'all are ready for this number. 23.6% of all U.S. dollars were created in the last year. Think about that. Nearly 1/4 of the money of the United States was printed in 1 year.
Yep.
You know what this means for rapid inflation? Well, there's some good news for those that hold massive debt, I guess, because rapid inflation means the debt becomes worthless.
True.
But this means that your money becomes worthless. Your savings becomes
worthless.
And therein lies the serious problem here. Retirement accounts, worthless. Yep. The people who have saved and are just trying to get by on a budget, I'm sorry. The bad news is here. They are locking everything down. It is getting worse. And now they're telling us that we had the worst day ever with COVID. That's the new breaking news from CNN. The U.S. has reported its most coronavirus deaths in a single day, over 2,800. Therefore, we must lock everything down worse than we have ever seen. In March, when the lockdowns...
Again, I still say over 330 million and 2,800 died. Again, with or with not, I don't know. Still,
okay. Most people said, okay, 15 days to slow the spread. How about that? They said it's got to be about a month and a half, 6 weeks. And people were like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Now it's going on 10 months, 9 months or so. It was March when it went down. This business owner in Michigan said when they printed these trillions of dollars, if they gave him $20,000 and said, use this money to keep your bills, machines, the machine churning, pay your bills, pay your taxes, whatever, and just don't come in. He said, I'd have backed away and said, all right, let's let this virus thing play out. They didn't. They cut everybody a stimulus check. A lot of people were kind of happy with it for the time being. Now what they're doing is just printing money for the millionaires and the billionaires. I know. It's really funny. Seeing this guy, this Portage restaurant owner, he says he feels abandoned by the government. Yeah. Well, you're in Michigan, buddy. You got a Democrat governor. But he goes on to talk about these big corporations and donors getting all this money. And I said, he sounds like Bernie Sanders. At least how Bernie Sanders used to sound until he joined the ranks of the crony establishment.
The millionaires and billionaires.
I want to read you the story about what's going on with these massive protests in Staten Island because, wow, bravo to these guys. But let me just point out, I have the story from Newsweek. Every mayor, governor accused of breaking COVID restrictions and why. This is a story from Newsweek giving us a list of the politicians who violated COVID lockdown. And guess what? They are all Democrats, every single one. And I tell you, this is why I am always ragging on Democrats. Not because I just don't like the left or whatever. I actually am fairly leftist. You know what I tweeted earlier? I said, man, I am really close to screaming, workers of the world unite, watching what they are doing to these people, to the working class in this country. I don't think communism is the answer. Far from it. But I would love to actually see left and right for now just being like, okay, we don't agree on economic policy at all, but we can certainly agree that massive multinational billion-dollar corporations are extracting our wealth and destroying this country. And that has been a persistent narrative since Occupy Wall Street, when left and the right actually agreed on this. But the leftists started taking over and the right got ejected. And then many on the right started making fun of them, saying, oh, they're all commies. I'll tell you what, man, I believe in a mixed economy, right? I like capitalism. I like a free market.
And you can go to Tim Cass. You can see it's called Massive the Tim Cass on YouTube to catch more of this. I just wanted to play a certain part and show the other part of that raid that you just saw with the guy. But I do got to go back for 1 second, because now we're gonna go down to, as you saw Newsweek, every mayor and governor accused of breaking COVID restrictions, and why? I don't know why, because it's a lie, and like you said, the mayors and governors, all of them is Democrats. Now there are some Republican. The one of people, I think it's Vermont, who did something stupid, but we'll talk about that, and also another person. But like I said, we'll get into that. But I want to set this part up because it's needed. So let's go back to Ruben, and let's take let's see, Gassetti, and hear what he says. This is to the mayor of LA.
Eric Garcetti, a horrible human being, demanding that Los Angelinos cancel everything.
My message couldn't be simpler. It's time to hunker down. It's time to cancel everything. And if it isn't essential, don't do it.
How about no?
Don't meet up with others outside your household. Don't host a gathering. Don't attend a gathering. And following our targeted safer at home order, if you're able to stay home, stay home. Just be smart and stay apart. That's our message tonight. And this is how we'll keep ourselves safe. This is how we will protect our workers, our healthcare heroes, who I want to thank, who are on shift after shift after shift with little light at the end of the tunnel.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti.
What the fuck?
Seriously, where these guys come with these crazy ass things? Be smart, stay apart. I hate this. Annoying. And that's all I can tell you. They're annoying. Says the guy who was earlier out with other protests, Black Lives Matter, everything, and they said that was not a super spreader, but you being in your house by yourself, you be in your house with a couple people, that's a super spreader. What? That's why I play that clip. What the hell? Because that's crazy. So let's finish up with a favorite on the show. Again, you guys go check it. Walk Don't Run presentation on YouTube. That's why I like him, like to use him, and he's pretty good with some of his videos. Let's finish off big with this nonsense.
When it comes to politics, there's a word that you may hear often: optics. It's a word that's used to characterize the public perception of someone's decision, more so than the actual substance of the decision itself.
Exactly.
Let me explain. For example, on July 29th, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set a rule that requires House members to wear a mask in the chamber.
Members and staff will be required to wear masks at all times in the hall of the House, except that members may remove their masks temporarily when recognized.
In other words, wear your mask in the House chamber unless you're speaking, and then you can take it off. Because apparently, you can't spread the virus when you're standing right above people or when you're making a 30-minute speech on the House floor. It's science.
The chair expects all members and staff to adhere to this requirement as a sign of respect for the health, safety, and well-being of others.
So, wear a mask for the health, safety, and well-being of others.
Good.
Unless you're Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi was caught walking around a San Francisco hair salon without a mask.
I just have my hair washed. I don't wear a mask when I'm washing my hair.
Nobody does.
Do you wear a mask when you're washing your hair?
First, Pelosi
But let's not pretend that, you crazy old lady.
isn't getting her hair washed in the video. This is called walking. Second,
Thank you.
if she was so concerned about the health, safety, and well-being of others, she could have held the mask up against her mouth and nose, you know, like normal people do when they get their hair washed at a salon, but whatever. I should also mention that due to local ordinances, San Francisco hair salons,
Which is in her district, and she knows the rules because her nephew is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California.
were supposed to be closed.
It was clearly a setup. I take
Setup?
responsibility for falling for a setup.
Again, you take responsibility for what setup?
By a neighborhood salon that I've gone to for years.
Oh, she was set up. Well, that's really unlikely because she's a lawmaker and
Thank
she
you.
would probably know that salons were supposed to be closed.
It's her district.
Besides, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right?
No one is above the law.
Oh,
Anyway, when
there
it
you
comes
go.
to politicians making poor decisions during the health crisis, at least on an optics
And that's the part I was killing. I swear, these people do not. They forget that people record. You are a politician, a high-ranking politician, and you're getting recorded with you saying. So, in other words, you saying this stuff. You don't care. Just come on, so you don't care. That apology that she gave was asinine as well too. But just I was set up. No, you was not set up. You knew what the rules were.
level, there is a surprising abundance. Let me introduce you to Denver Mayor Michael Hancock. On November 18th, in a letter to colleagues, Hancock wrote the following. As the holidays approach, we all long to be with our families in person.
Okay.
With the continued rise in cases, I'm urging you to refrain from travel this Thanksgiving holiday. For my family, that means canceling our traditional gathering of extended family. We must take these steps now if we want to change the trajectory of this virus.
Okay, he said, for my family, that means canceling our traditions. He literally said that.
And on November 25th at 9:43 a.m., Mayor Hancock tweeted the following. Pass the potatoes, not
the
COVID.
COVID.
Stay at home as much as you can. Avoid travel if you can.
Mhm.
So while he was begging people to avoid travel if they can, well, it turns out he couldn't. Mayor Hancock tweeted out that advice from Denver International Airport 30 minutes before taking a flight to Houston, Texas. And
Then-
from Houston, Mayor Hancock took a second flight to Mississippi to see his wife and daughter. It turns out that someone at the airport recognized the mayor, thought it was hypocritical for him to travel while
You think?
urging everyone else not to, and tipped off Channel 9 News in Denver. And this forced the mayor to address the situation. I fully acknowledge that I have urged everyone to stay home and avoid unnecessary travel. I have shared how my family canceled our plans for our traditional multi-household Thanksgiving celebration. What I did not share, but should have, is that my wife and daughter have been in Mississippi, where my daughter recently took a job.
And
As the holiday approached, I decided it would be safer for me to travel to see them than to have two family members travel back to Denver.
And so, you know, I didn't want to let my daughter down.
Well, at least he had a good reason.
you didn't let your daughter down. She could have waited like anybody else who's traveling. You told them not to travel.
I apologize to the residents of Denver who see
Please.
my decision as conflicting with the guidance to stay home for all but essential
You
travel.
got caught.
I made my decision as a husband and father, and for those who are angry and disappointed, I humbly ask you to forgive decisions that are born of my heart and not my head. So thanks to the
Whatever.
mayor following his heart and not his own advice, he had to quarantine for 14 days, which means that he will be limited in his capacity to carry out his duty
Like
as the
he
mayor
does-
of the 19th largest city in the nation.
Thank you.
Don't worry, with your taxpayer dollars paying his salary, he can still work from home.
Exactly.
Next is Multnomah County Commissioner Sharon Myron, who has called for restrictions on public gatherings and business operations. On November 12th, Myron tweeted the following. Horrifying number of cases today. A 2-week pause won't cut it. We need meaningful action. Much we could have done and still could do. Address indoor drinking dining, elective surgeries, and more. But we need to do it now. So while the county commissioner frowns upon elective surgeries during the health crisis, elective vacations are a-okay. Because what you might not have guessed from that tweet is that the county commissioner was sitting in a lovely rented condo in Hawaii.
Of course.
I am working virtually, and I am also having a vacation.
Oh, well, as long as you're working, it's totally fine.
I was thinking about the trip for me personally. It didn't at all seem like a hypocritical or contradictory thing to do to travel.
So this genius didn't
Yes,
think
it
was
did.
critical to call for a new stay-at-home order while at the same time chilling out in Hawaii. But
Whoa. Yes, it did. Yeah. I don't you think, again, for the people who losing their jobs and their companies, small businesses have the same problem too?
whatever, Sharon, live your best life. And upon her arrival back into Oregon, Dr. Myron was required to quarantine for 14 days, which is really helpful to patients when you're a practicing emergency physician in the middle of a surging health crisis. Speaking of Hawaii, several Democrat and Republican state lawmakers went to Maui for a 4-day conference. This included California Assembly member Wendy Carrillo. In a tweet back in September, Carrillo criticized South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem for frivolously bird hunting during the health crisis. But when it comes to frivolous...
But she was out in the wild, air, out again. And we always showed you before, they said most of the spread happens inside contained areas. As they say, lock down, don't go to the bars, don't go to all this stuff. She's outside. Let her be what she be. She ain't troubling nobody. And her state's been doing pretty well.
Traveling to Hawaii during a health crisis, Wendy doesn't have a problem. Funny how that works.
Exactly.
In a statement, Carrillo attempted to justify the trip. Yes, I am currently in Hawaii for a 4-day conference focused on reopening our economy amid COVID-19. This trip is not funded through taxpayers' dollars.
And she's right. And I don't care. That's not the point. And let's be honest, to a degree, not taxpayers' dollars. I ain't stupid, lady. I know what you did.
And she's right. It wasn't funded by taxpayer dollars. It was funded by a lobbyist group, the Independent Voter Project. With regards to this current trip, the Independent Voter Project has been in existence for 15 plus years and brings together bipartisan legislators from various states.
And you couldn't do it on a Zoom call like everybody's been doing? You had to go to Hawaii? Okay.
Translation? Guys, it's a group of lobbyists that have been around for years, so it's totally fine if they pay for my flight and hotel room to try and influence my vote in the assembly. I mean, it's not like I was bird hunting or anything.
I know, right?
As I mentioned before, several Republican state lawmakers attended the conference in Hawaii as well.
Yeah.
And that includes California Assemblyman Frank Bigelow. But the difference here is that, according to the LA Times, Assemblyman Bigelow paid for his trip out of pocket. And since the Assemblyman hasn't been calling for shutdowns or travel restrictions, there doesn't seem to be any hypocrisy here. However,
exactly. But still, it's a bad look.
it is poor optics to take a trip to Hawaii while many of your constituents are out of work, so
exactly.
That, I guess.
Yeah.
Then there's Los Angeles County Supervisor Sheila Keel. On Tuesday, November 24th, Keel voted on an outdoor dining ban that would affect 31,000 LA County restaurants.
This one still pissed me off in a weird way. If you follow California and New York politics, those two, because they said, hey, again, because they looked at their stuff and said that the virus was inside, so have outside. So what the restaurants did, they said they try to do outside. And what happened? This chick, we're gonna ban outside. And so that's bad enough. So people who are going to spend money to refigure their restaurant outside so they can make money, as big a little money as they can, that's rough. But then here comes this chick.
So the servers are not protected from us, and they're not protected from their other 6 tables that they're serving at that particular time, plus all of the hours in which they're working. So it is a most dangerous situation for them. So I sadly, but strongly support moving our restaurants back to takeout and delivery.
Hours after voting in favor of the ban, Keel went to Il Forno Trattoria, her favorite restaurant in Santa Monica to partake in some outdoor dining despite the danger to waitstaff. A spokesperson for Huel told Fox 11 she did dine al fresco at Il Forno on the very last day it was permissible. She loves Il Forno. It's been saddened to see it, like so many restaurants, suffer from a decline in revenue. She ate there taking appropriate
because of you
precautions,
guys,
and sadly will not dine there again until our public health orders permit. What appropriate precautions did she take exactly, and why was she able to take them but insist on banning others from taking those same precautions?
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot. She's a former Hollywood actress, which means she's an expert in science, so stop asking ridiculous questions. Then there's the governor of the state of New York.
Sorry, this go. You know what? I'll play the clip after because that's what it is. Because he literally put COVID patients in LD homes, 6,300 people, and has people who died on his conscience. The piece of crap governor. But this is a special case right here that Andrew's going to bring up. So bring it on up, Andrew.
Cuomo. Listen to the governor speaking on WAMC's Northeast report, talking about how people should conduct themselves during Thanksgiving in 2020.
That's what this Thanksgiving should be about. Thank you, nurse. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, essential worker. I'm not going to create any issue for you by getting somebody sick or getting sick myself, so you have to put your life in danger. Be alone physically, be connected spiritually.
Okay. Be alone physically and be connected spiritually.
And then, in the same interview, Governor Cuomo was asked what his Thanksgiving plans looked like.
My mom is going to come up, and two of my girls is the current plan.
All I can say, oh my God, really? In his interview?
You piece of loser.
That's,
you piece of loser.
That's what I gotta say to you, Cuomo. Jeez, you people. Oh my goodness. Y'all really do not care.
When it comes to
current plan, but the plans change. But that's my plan.
So Governor Cuomo did in fact change his plans, but only after some pretty intense and well-deserved public backlash.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm sure that Governor Cuomo learned a powerful lesson and will never be hypocritical ever again. I'm just kidding, he's awful. Next, we have California Governor Gavin Newsom, who has consistently been an advocate of masks, social distancing, curfews, and lockdowns.
This disease continues to be deadly. This remains the most important thing you can do to mitigate the spread.
No,
There's nothing wrong with encouraging people to wear a mask. And he has a mask in his hand, and that means that he's totally following his own advice, right? Going out to eat with members of your household this weekend? Don't forget to keep your mask on in between bites.
And remember, I talked about this before these guys make this video. That's how I said that this is the crap that we're hearing.
Really? In between bites? Really? Well, as long as the governor is following his own advice, right? Oh wait, he doesn't. News broke that Governor Newsom traveled from Sacramento to attend a large gathering at the French Laundry, a lovely 3-star Michelin-rated restaurant located in Napa Valley.
A few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife...
Again, here's the birthdays again. And the friend was a lobbyist, 1. 2, he's also a one of the medical board experts who would say about all this stuff. That's what they said. But they didn't wear no mask. And to have, wear a mask, slow to spread. Shut up.
And a friend that I've known for almost 20 years, and a friend that had, put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday.
Well, good for him. Just like all the other birthdays. What else you just, what? Us peons? Come on.
Oh, I see. His friend put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday.
Yeah, right.
The governor was obligated to go.
It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an outdoor restaurant.
But according to these photos obtained
That is
by
not
Fox
outdoor.
11,
That is not outdoor. And like I said in my video, there's a roof, there's walls, there's a glass. You told people to hum it's stupid crap. Hum songs, don't sing songs, can you spread. But they closed the glass doors, as I played a video of the lady saying, they closed the glass door because it was so loud. He said, oh, it was 12. It was 22 people now we found out. He lied. His whole apology was BS.
and it wasn't outdoors. And wow, look at all that mask wearing in between bites.
And we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30.
Oh, good, because everyone knows that you can't catch COVID before 10 p.m.
I know, right?
The earlier the better.
And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household.
And this
Again, remember, Sacramento to Napa, 3-hour drive. He was not going to leave. He wasn't. But then, of course, you get this.
This is the biggest issue. According to the governor's own mandatory requirements for all gatherings, gatherings that include more than 3 households are prohibited.
And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back.
You weren't going to do a 3-hour
to
drive.
my house.
He should have,
But he didn't.
You can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, et cetera.
You quibble about trivial matters.
Yeah.
What this is about is the governor violating a mandatory requirement that was put in place by his own office. And good luck quibbling with the authorities if you get caught, because unless you're the governor or one of his lobbyist birthday buddies, you're going to be fined or put in jail. Because for politicians like Newsom in the age of COVID, it's rules for thee and not for them.
Not for me.
And that's it for.
And that is so true. That is so true. And let's just end it off with the last piece of thing, because again, let's finish off full circle. Because people need to understand, yes, even what like the guy said, we could have stayed home. Like the guy said, we could have stayed home and still do the stay home and let the virus flatten out or whatever. Still, there's a problem though. If people stay home, then right now there's a lot of people are starving because they're throwing away milk, they're throwing away turkeys, they're throwing a lot of stuff because the usual stuff is not there, and then it affects other stuff. So let's go. Let's finish up with this. Common sense, which I am.
Can you believe some?
I would say common sense, but I mostly say simple sense because common sense means common people have it. And I'm hoping people will not be stupid. But again, there we go.
Can you believe some people don't support the lockdowns?
Yeah.
How could someone place economics above human life?
Sorry, but economics and human well-being aren't mutually exclusive concepts. In fact, they depend upon one another.
Yeah, the economy's just people producing and trading things other people want and need. When that gets shut down, people die. Die? Isn't that a bit melodramatic?
Because of the lockdowns, far more people are starving today than were a year ago. Globally, the World Bank estimates 150 million people will be thrown into extreme poverty, and domestically, things aren't going well either. Researchers estimate that 23% of US households faced food insecurity earlier this year, more than double the rate in 2019. They also estimate that among households with children, food insecurity rates have tripled.
Which is why we need another stimulus.
That's not really a long-term solution either. It doesn't matter how much money you give people once supplies run out.
Run out? Please. We didn't shut down any of the essential industries that create things we need.
If only. Economies are too complicated for governments to look at and decide which industries are absolutely necessary for survival, because things you might consider superfluous can affect the production of our needs in unpredictable ways. For example, a lot of meat producers were finding it difficult to get their food to market because supplies like tape, plastic wrap, and other containers were considered to be non-essential.
Oh. An easy, be a fatal mistake.
Economics is full of those.
And all that is without even accounting for mental health issues.
Thank you.
25% of teens contemplated suicide over the summer. Rates of depression have tripled from last year. Domestic violence has doubled, and there's been a huge spike in drug overdoses. Not to mention, social isolation increases the risk of heart disease by 29% and stroke by 32%.
Yep, make no mistake. The lockdowns are absolutely killing people. There are no solutions here, only trade-offs.
Thank you.
Are you seriously suggesting we should just reopen? Well, if it saves just one life.
Right.
Hey folks, thanks so much for watching. If you
That is true. That is so true. Oh man, too funny. But you know what? It's what is like I said. That's what I wanted to make sure people understand. I want people to understand that this is, like I said, I talked about this earlier about like how we just talk about the cows, get that about the milk. You give me all the money you want, but if things are locked down, what am I gonna buy? I'm not gonna buy nothing because it's locked down. It's so stupid. It's crazy. But I hope you guys not only learn something, understand something. Please share this video. Go to Project Open Mic on YouTube. Share the video, and if comment, like, dislike, I don't care. Have a conversation about it, what we talk about. But like I said, I just went through a logical base of what's going on with this virus. Seriously, it's overblown. This is my opinion. It's overblown. It is a dangerous virus, but it's overblown, and I think we should not lock down because the locking down has created way more problems than, so the cure is worse than the disease, as the old saying go. And that's what's going on. Again, you want to directly get it to projectovermike3@gmail.com. That's a T and a number 3 at gmail.com. Of course, you have Instagram or Twitter. Project Over Mike, check us out there. Again, we're gonna be expanding in the next month, so hopefully everything goes well in that. But again, hope you guys have a good night. Hope you all have a great Friday, and catch us with a side chat tomorrow. It should be back at normal. Yet I had one good. It was cool having a chat with you guys and seeing through Tampa FM. We have got up. Tonight's show has gotten up to 16,000. Thank you guys for watching and giving me your eyes, your ears, and your time to listen to what I have to say. Put at this late night, this late in time for you guys, this early morning for you guys in Tampa FM over in Europe. You know what? Thank you. So again, you can catch us on Facebook. You catch me on YouTube at Project Open Mic. Project Open Mic right here on YouTube has basically the past shows. You can see what I was talking about. So you can have that. There's gonna be more type of videos coming on that channel. But I will be backing up on BitChute and Library and other stuff, so we don't count ourselves, and also put ourselves also on Spotify and hopefully on iTunes. We hope so. We'll see how that goes for 2021. But again, hope you guys have a safe night. Hope you guys, like I said, join us tomorrow for checks. And a lot of people don't have that crisscross of viewers for Friday to Thursday. But hey, if not, you don't join us tomorrow. Have a good weekend. All right. You know what I always say? Evil comes in all shapes, size. Even you can say government, shape, size, creed, well, government, anything. People are evil, no matter what. And remember, people are stupid. Be that smart individual. That's all I can tell you. You saw what I just did earlier on to show you logically go to this. So again, yeah, be that smart individual. Again, share the video, have a conversation. I have no problem with that. With that, I will wish you guys a good night, a good Friday, and peace out.
You